Tonight, Scotland prepares for the President. Donald Trump is on Air Force One, winging his way towards a 4-day visit of golf, protests and politics. Words of praise as he left Washington, but will he get a warm welcome?
And he's a good man. The Scottish leader's a good man, so I look forward to meeting him.
There's enough trouble going on in the world at the moment without Donald Trump coming to Scotland to play golf.
I think he's brilliant. We could be doing with our own Donald Trump in this country, couldn't we?
Yeah.
Security is tight at Prestwick Airport. The police are out in force, and when Donald Trump lands, the eyes of the world's media will be on the tarmac.
The President will head straight to Turnbury, where there's a massive security operation. Amid fears of protests, preparations have been underway all week.
At the Many Estate in Aberdeenshire, he's due to open his latest golf course and play host to the Prime Minister and First Minister.
Good evening, I'm Norman MacLeod and this is the STV News at 6, live from Aberdeen. Prestwick is on standby. The President of the United States, Donald Trump, will touch down this evening before heading to Turnbury to have dinner with the Prime Minister, Keir Starmer. It's the start of a 4-day trip during which he'll also visit his golf course in Aberdeenshire and meet the First Minister. As he left Washington this afternoon, he said he has a lot of love for Scotland. His visit is prompting an enormous security operation. Well, in a moment we'll hear the latest from Prestwick Airport and the President's 2 golf courses. But first, this from our political reporter, Laura Alderman.
Hoping to swap questions over Gaza and Ghislaine Maxwell for golf. Donald Trump is now on his way to Scotland for a 4-day trip. His first since being elected President of the United States for the 2nd time.
We're now heading to Scotland. I'm meeting with the Prime Minister of UK.
Keir Starmer and Trump are braced for a good time, according to the President, as they visit his world-class Turnbury golf resort in South Ayrshire, followed by a trip to his new one in Aberdeenshire.
We have a lot of things in Scotland. I have a lot of love. My brother was born in Scotland. And he's a good man. The Scottish leader's a good man, so I look forward to meeting him. That's all set up, right?
A tight ring of security will be wrapped around the President, with roads near Turnbury restricted. Preparations for this private trip has garnered a mixed public reaction.
We can't get down to Turnbury Beach or that because of one man. The man who thinks he's God and who everybody else apparently in America thinks he's God.
I think he's brilliant. We could be doing with our own Donald Trump in this country, couldn't we?
Yeah.
There's enough trouble going on in the world at the moment without Donald Trump coming to Scotland to play golf.
What can you do? He is the President of America, so what can you do?
I'm waiting and I'm coming so I can go down there. I'll find with him.
For regulars here this morning, it was a round of golf with a difference.
Actually quite surreal. It's very sterile, very quiet. Today I think there was 2 to 4 police officers in every tee, so it was actually quite nervous playing in front of an audience. The Trump organisation's been fantastic for the golf course, the hotel.
That's a view shared by others in the area, like John, who was a chauffeur at Turnbury and met Donald Trump many times.
It's totally different from what you see in the television, and his knowledge of building materials was unbelievable. Everything that he used to upgrade the hotel had to be the very, very best.
Elena and Anita are organising anti-Trump protests in Edinburgh and Aberdeen over the weekend.
7 out of 10 Scots don't like Donald Trump, and we don't want him to feel welcome here, so we're going to be as loud as possible, as colourful as possible.
He's caused a lot of havoc, for local residents. And I think, we've seen, his bullying behaviour with tariffs.
It's also about the politicians that are travelling to meet him. We want them to hear our message as well.
In amongst the promised celebrations, both Keir Starmer and John Swinney are expected to try and bend the President's ear over trade tariffs and the ongoing situation in Gaza.
It's important that we use this opportunity to make sure that Scotland's voice is heard on the issues that matter to us domestically, and also on the issues and the concerns that we all have about the international situation, particularly about the suffering that is going on in Gaza at this time.
The deal that we have managed to secure with the US means that we have lower tariffs on whisky sales than other countries have on their drinks products going into the US.
Waiting for the Eagle to land, crowds outside Prestwick Airport seemed more interested in the plane than the president himself.
Boeing 747-200 / the VC-25, which is a bucket list item for us plane spotters.
We've came down from Fife to see President Trump come in for the first time. We've never plane spotted in air before.
Really interested in a 747 because it'll be the first 747 I've ever caught in my 2 years of plane spotting.
With his personal plane already on the tarmac, the stage is set for the president and his people. The only question is now, how will they be received in a country he holds so much affection for? Laura Alderman, STV News.
Well, President Trump set off from Washington around 3 p.m. and is on Air Force One heading for Prestwick. Ollie Dickinson is there for us. Ollie, a VIP for the airport.
That's right. Let me tell you, I've been on holiday from this airport on quite a few occasions, but today is something totally different. From the hundreds of police officers to the, frankly, thousands of those little yellow police cones on the streets around Prestwick to the near constant buzz of the police helicopter. That tells you that this is a big deal. Now, remember, just 4 US presidents have visited Scotland. Dwight Eisenhower in 1957, George W. Bush in 2005, Joe Biden in 2021, and now, for the second time, Donald Trump.
And this is very much a global event.
Absolutely. The eyes of the world's media, indeed the eyes of the world, are going to be on that strip of tarmac behind me for the next couple of hours, waiting for Air Force One to land. What about the people who've been here for most of the day, though? You've got to remember, there's been people here, those plane spotters that we heard in Laura's package there, since 5 a.m. One guy I spoke to had come from his shift in Newcastle last night straight down here to make sure he got the best spot. There was another chap I spoke to. He's here visiting from Australia, but came to see Air Force One anyway. You've got to think it's a huge, huge day for those people. Many here wanted, of course, to see the Donald Trump plane, the family plane. That, though, is hidden just behind the building of Prestwick Airport behind me.
So what's the latest arrival time?
Well, here's the big thing. He is a little bit behind schedule, but I guess when you are the President of the United States of America, that's kind of your prerogative, isn't it? I had a little look on some of the tracking software before we came on air just now. He looks like he's over the mid-Atlantic. We think he's about an hour and a half to 2 hours behind schedule, but it's safe to say that has absolutely not put this crowd off in any way, shape or form.
Ollie, thank you. Well, when he does land, he'll be heading to Turnbury, as you heard in Laura's report. Gordon Cree has spent the day there. Gordon, what is the impact of the security operation?
Well, this is the main road into Turnbury. Normally you can drive alongside the golf course and up past the famous hotel, but not today. Throughout the day we've been pushed further and further back. There is a literal ring of steel, a 10-foot high metal fence around the property, blocking access to it and around the public beach. That's been closed off too. The whole area is dotted with high-vis clad police officers from across Scotland, supported by colleagues we've seen from Greater Manchester. That operation to keep this area secure, costing, we understand, up to £5 million.
And what can we expect when the President actually gets to Turnbury?
Well, that will be by either helicopter from Prestwick or by road in the motorcade with the famous car, the Beast. We're expecting that to be after 10 p.m. now. But when he gets here, it's going to be different from his last visit. We're not going to see doorstepping him in his golf buggy, because this time it is a closed visit to the media, and they hope a closed visit to protesters as well. The idea being no one hostile is getting anywhere near him.
OK, Gordon, many thanks. Well, Stephen is live outside Donald Trump's Aberdeenshire course on the many estates. Stephen, it'll be a few days until President Trump arrives there, but preparations are well underway.
Yeah, the security operations certainly ramping up. We have seen a number of police vans arriving in the last couple of hours from places like Merseyside, Durham, Northumberland as well. Roads have started to close, and that will only increase in the coming days in the run-up to President Trump's arrival, because not only is the President going to arrive, but in the coming days we expect him to meet with the Prime Minister and with the First Minister as well. Now, I think if you said to some people when Donald Trump first arrived here many years ago that one day he would come back as the sitting US President, they would have said that was something of fantasy. It is very much now the reality. Of course, he has his supporters for what he has done here and he's brought to the area, but of course he's also had some disputes with some of his neighbours. He's had a public local inquiry and he's had some political fallouts too. But he will come here and he will play his second course, which will open over the course of the summer, because of course at its heart this continues to be a private visit.
Well, I think this will be the greatest golf course anywhere in the world.
Donald Trump's never been short of confidence or controversy. He stood by his claim regarding his northeast development from the very start. In the coming days, he'll come back here and play on the newly created second course. But his trip back to Aberdeenshire has, as he often does, split opinions.
And just to say, I'm very sorry for what the United States has done to the world.
Joseph Delap is an American living in Scotland. The artist and activist has now set up this, the United States Apologies Desk. And today he's taken it to Aberdeen.
Being an immigrant here and settling here and seeing what's happening from a distance and feeling extremely helpless, very sad, very angry, embarrassed, it just struck me that Americans don't apologize, right? I mean, just on a larger level.
Donald Trump has made repeated visits to the northeast. His presence has sparked protests at times, but others have been real supporters of his work. Ross Thompson is a big backer of President Trump, meeting him several times. The former Conservative MP and now Reform member has worked at his course in Aberdeenshire, and he believes he's been good for the region.
I think it's really interesting that some of the people protesting are protesting a president who has shown a deep love and affection for our country, which is very unique, who's put his money where his mouth is and actually invested in our country, who's created jobs and is supporting the local economy here, and actually wants us to thrive, through trade and being a player on the world stage. He's always been supportive of Britain's journey.
In fact, one of the documentaries they're trying to find people that dislike Donald Trump in Aberdeen. They couldn't find any.
But what do people in Aberdeen really think of President Trump?
We're quite pro-Trump actually, which I know a lot of people, he's a bit like Marmite, but he, I think he does a lot of good as well.
I think he's disgusting. I don't see how the American people could vote him as the president.
Well, he has the many estate, that's putting a lot to the community. Tourism, we'll have to think of that, future of Aberdeen, so I don't mind him coming.
I can't stand the guy. He's a terrible person.
David Milne is a neighbour of the Trump course. For years he's fought the original development, which he now overlooks, refusing to sell and leave his property to make way for the course.
The original promises included something in the order of 1,200 jobs. There's now currently something like 80 people employed on the estate, which is down from 105 that were employed here before Trump appeared on the scene. That's not to mention the hotel, the housing, the sports facilities, etc. that aren't here and probably never will be.
The arrival of President Trump will divide opinion here and reignite old debates, both about the man and the courses he's created. Stephen Brown, STV News.
The President's rocky relationship with Scotland has spanned decades. It's his mother's homeland, a place along with its people he's tried to win over on many occasions. Our reporter Vanessa Taff has the story of Donald Trump's history so far with Scotland.
Which network is this going on?
STV.
I just love Scotland. I've always loved Scotland. I've loved Scottish golf, and that was my most important thing.
It's that love of golf and his mother that's always connected Donald Trump to his ancestral home. From the lofty heights of Trump Tower in New York, the billionaire tycoon set his sights on Scotland for his next business venture. En route to a public inquiry into his plans for the many-estate course, a quick touchdown in Stornoway, the home of Trump's mother, Mary Ann MacLeod.
Well, I was here many, many years ago with my mother as a young child, and I haven't been back since. But my mother never lost her feeling for Scotland. She loved Scotland more than anything, and she loved Lewis and this whole area so much. She never forgot her roots.
The US tycoon has now turned against the First Minister over his backing of plans to build a wind farm off the coast of his luxury resort.
The many resort drama even made its way to Hollywood.
It's like the Academy Awards. We would start the hotel immediately if they dropped their wind farm.
He had these choice words for his former friend and First Minister, Alex Salmond.
Mad Alex.
But he lost that legal battle, pledging to never invest in Scotland again.
Donald Trump has confirmed he's bought the Turnbury Golf Resort in South Ayrshire.
2 months later, he added to his golf portfolio. And its opening collided with the beginning of Trump's biggest chapter yet.
I'll be announcing something on June 16th at Trump Tower in New York, and I think people are going to be very, very happy with that announcement. Good luck, everybody. I am officially running for President of the United States, and we are going to make our country great again.
Sorry, Mr. Trump.
Protesters are never far when the president visits these shores.
Go pay your taxes!
His last trip in 2023 for a private round of golf left many delighted to welcome the Commander-in-Chief. And as he came off the golf course, he had these words for STV News.
How was your round of golf?
We had a great time at Turnbury. There's no place like it. We really had a wonderful time, and we love Scotland.
Vanessa Taff, STV News.
To other news, there will be a next one. That's the stark warning from an Aberdeenshire mother whose son has been left with lifelong injuries after a series of morphine underdoses at Scotland's largest children's cardiac ward. A review found a catalogue of failures after 7 children received just a tenth of the pain relief they required at the Royal Hospital for Children in Glasgow last year. Grainne Griachan spoke to a mother who fears it could happen again.
Behind his smiles and laughter, Theo has endured much more than most 4-year-olds. After undergoing his second open heart surgery, a critical mistake meant he received just a tenth of the morphine he needed. He's now been left with a paralysed diaphragm as a result.
It's not repairing itself at all, and we don't know the impact that's going to have. So one of the doctors did say it could make it very difficult to take him off a ventilator the next time he goes on one, which is obviously a big panic because you can't have open heart surgery without a ventilator.
Theo is one of 7 children who were given a morphine underdose at the Royal Hospital for Children in Glasgow last year. An investigation has now been undertaken, revealing a catalogue of failures. The review found that 10 milligrams of morphine had been ordered by theatre staff, but that the strength delivered was only 1 milligram. Staff assumed the order was correct. The wrong amount was then used. A new stock system was also blamed, with the font size and colour making it difficult to read the amount of milligrams. It concluded human and systematic factors played a significant role. NHS Greater Glasgow and Clyde have again apologised to the families impacted and say they've begun the process of implementing the recommendations. But Theo's mother, Ellie, fears this could happen to another child if serious changes aren't made immediately.
The review itself is a half-hearted acknowledgement of them not following their own policies, but it doesn't really take any actual accountability for what's happened. I think it really diminishes the lived experiences of the families that have been through it.
It's now been more than a year since Theo's surgery and his recovery is going well. But it's been very hard on Ellie. She believed her son was in the safest place and says she still feels the lasting emotional impact of the ordeal.
We'll never forget it, and I feel like I can speak on behalf of the other families that they won't either. I'm not sure their exact situation if their kids are going to have to go back in for more surgery, but I know for us, knowing that this happened and we are going back, I honestly can't even imagine how we're going to cope when that time does come.
Grainne Griachan, STV News.
Well, Well, let's catch up on all the sport now with Stephanie, who's in Dundee this evening.
STV Sport, sponsored by the C.R. Smith Summer Sale.
A very good evening from Dundee, where we'll be talking about both of the clubs on this street. More of Dundee in a moment. But first, Dundee United and manager Jim Goodwin says it's still very much game on ahead of next week's return leg away to Una Strassen in the Europa Conference League. It comes after Goodwin was left lamenting United's missed chances in last night's 1-0 victory over the Luxembourg side. Over 11,000 fans packed into Tannadice last night to see Dundee United kick off their European adventure. And this was the goal that separated the sides. Zach Sapsford's strike early in the second half gives the Tangerines a 1-0 advantage over Una Strassen ahead of the second leg in Luxembourg next week. Happy with the win, but manager Jim Goodwin was disappointed not to take a firmer grip of the tie.
There's moments in the game where we need to improve. You know, I thought when we did move the ball quickly and we found good pockets of space, I thought we looked a threat and we looked dangerous. But you know, I think we've left a couple of goals out there at least. You know, Seville has a great chance in the first half. Okay, credit to the keeper, he makes a good save. Sturton's unlucky as well in the second half. The goalkeeper made a good save at his near post and tipped it onto the post. I would certainly rather be sitting here, you know, with a 3-goal advantage. As it stands at 1-0, it's still very much game on.
It was a night to remember for Australian striker Sapsford, scoring the winner on his competitive debut in front of a near full house.
It was incredible. I mean, I've heard, everyone's told me it's amazing, and really they showed up tonight and it was great. I had goosebumps walking out, hearing the fans scream. I've honestly never heard a stadium like that. It was crazy. My mum was here, which was nice, all the way from Australia.
Goodwin will now assess his squad before Thursday's return leg, with Max Watters a doubt after picking up an injury minutes after coming on as a second-half substitute. Well, Dundee manager Stephen Presley admits there could be more pain along the way, but he's confident that his side will make their mark in time in the Premiership. It comes as the Dark Blues continue their preparation for next weekend's league season kick-off when they take on Montrose here in the Premier Sports Cup tomorrow. With more, here's Ronnie Charters.
Stephen Presley got the first win of his managerial reign at Bonnyrigg Roads this week. But with no hope of progressing in the League Cup, tomorrow's visit of Montrose to Dens is now a warm-up for the league opener against Hibs next Sunday. However, Presley is confident that in time, the Dark Blues will make their mark.
There might be more pain along the way. I'm also realistic about that as well. I think that in time, we can certainly start making an impact on the league. I think shorter term, it's going to be a real challenge for us, but a challenge that we're certainly up for. Let me make no mistake about that. We're certainly up for the challenge, but it is a big challenge. But I think with the players that we have in, with additional recruits, then I think we can impact the league and we can build a team in time that I think our supporters will enjoy watching.
St Johnstone are out to make it to the knockout stages of the Cup with 4 straight wins when they host Elgin tomorrow.
It's a big game. It's a big game, and I think it's most important game of this group stages, because if we are not managed to be ourselves, if we are not managed to be our best, all these 3 games what we have done before, they don't count for nothing.
3 points behind, Inverness are aiming to progress when they travel to Raith Rovers.
I went and watched Raith at Elgin last week and I thought they were terrific. Barry's done a great job there. He's put a good team together, you know, and they've done really well. Obviously they got beat at the weekend there off East Kilbride, which probably nobody expected, you know, but he's got a real good side with some really good players there.
Meanwhile, Ross County can make it to the knockout stages if they get the better of Partick Thistle in Dingwall. Elsewhere this evening, Aberdeen are in friendly action when Ipswich Town visit Pittodrie. Ronnie Charters, STV Sport.
And that's all the sport from me from Dundee for tonight. Do have a great weekend.
STV Sport, sponsored by the C.R. Smith Summer Sale.
Well, it was a lovely warm day in the east today. The Wasps are out. Here's Sean with a look at the weekend weather.
Outbreaks of ancient sites will gradually settle into an evening of pizza plates al fresco. TUI sponsors STV Weather.
A very good evening to you. A day of shower outbreaks of rain. A little weak weather front that's been running its way eastwards. A much better end to the day for most of us. A lot of dry weather with sunny spells. Some scattered showers coming back into the northwest. And temperatures tonight locally into single figures. Quite a cool night to come. And that's something you'll notice this weekend, especially around the north and the west of the country. It's going to feel quite fresh, certainly compared to the weather we've had on and off over the last several weeks. Temperatures generally this weekend probably around the mid to high teens for most of us, and feeling cooler in that blustery wind still at times in the northwest. Now tomorrow it's a day of sunshine and showers, a day where you may get those showers and hopefully they'll pass through in about 10-15 minutes, and then you'll be back to blue skies. Temperature tomorrow up to about 20 degrees maybe in the northeast, so hopefully not feeling too bad here in between those showers, but of course do watch out for them. I think the showers will be more frequent and the risk of some quite heavy ones on Sunday, especially down the western side of the country, but then the showers start to ease across northern and northwestern parts a little bit later on the day. The Elin Dorcha Festival in Benbecula, well, the weather is looking quite showery through the weekend, but hopefully, as I say, the showers clearing up for a time later on Saturday afternoon. Saturday evening, though, it does look as if we may see a bit more persistent rain for a time, and then on Sunday it's just back to sunshine and showers again. Spayfest as well, sunshine and showers, but as I say, if you just give it 10-15 minutes, hopefully they'll clear away. Bye-bye.
TUI sponsors STV Weather.
That's the way it looks this Friday evening. I'll be here at the later time of 11:25 when we'll have the latest on Trump's arrival. It's going to be an eventful few days. Have a good evening.